clear to me from hearing you just now that you all share something with your classmates. A sense of pride, a sense of identity, a sense of friendship. But I want you to take a moment and think back. Think back to the first day when you walked into the classroom and saw your peers. Do you remember what it felt like seeing your classmates' faces for the first time? Do you remember what you thought about the person who's sitting next to you right now? Do you remember being terrified because you didn't speak Spanish or you thought maybe your English wasn't good enough? Do you remember thinking, everybody else here knows exactly what they're doing, apart from me? Yet somehow, here we are, we made it. And now that we're at the end of the MBA, we're likely in a celebratory mood, for we've succeeded in what we set out to do. But the question I want to ask today is, how should we judge success? Well, firstly, we've been successful in the sense that we've overcome some difficult personal challenges, and we should be proud of that. The risk that we took by coming here this year has given rise to its share of perils as well as promise. As many of you know, my children have had to fight for their lives this year, and my wife and I have had to persevere through some significant heartache. But I'm glad to say that with your support, and with the support of the whole of IE, we've overcome. And I'm absolutely delighted to say that all of my children are here today. Hey, kids. And among you too, I've seen great courage in the face of adversity. People have suffered injury and sickness and overcome. People have suffered the end of relationships and overcome. People have suffered the loss of loved ones and overcome. Life will certainly continue to throw obstacles at us, but sadness and despair have not been able to shake our resolve nor dampen our spirit. And being here today is as much a testament to character in the face of personal struggle as it is to academic achievement. So we should all be proud of ourselves. We made it. Secondly, we've been successful by meeting the academic challenge of the MBA. But would it be too much to say that actually the MBA is not an academic experience at all, but an exercise in building resilience? After all, they threw us all together and we had to try and grasp unfamiliar concepts with unfamiliar people. For the friends and family here today who don't know what the MBA entailed, I think the best way that I could describe it would be early mornings, late nights, evaluations, simulations, misunderstandings, GPA rankings, bad decisions, decision trees, ideation, design thinking, divergent thinking, convergent thinking, lack of thinking, air conditioning, Gantt charts, seating charts, volume, variability. Not to mention MDM, CMT, CAC, MPV, ROI, LTV, BGS, and PNG. Now imagine trying to deal with all of that while putting up with Arab punctuality, Italian logic, German compassion, American subtlety, Russian flexibility, Indian accents, the Latin sense of political correctness, and of course, British humility. And yet, in spite of all this, we made it. But I think that the most important success of all has come from what, for me, was a somewhat unexpected source. Prior to coming to IE, I was told that MBA students were competitive, cutthroat characters who would do anything to get ahead. Well, coming to IE, I found that description could not have been more wrong. I have such huge respect and admiration for you, my classmates, for having been there for me and for each other. You've been each other's emotional supports, confidants, shoulders to cry on, rocks to lean on. You helped each other through the low points of that infamous roller coaster we heard so much about. And it's incredible how much I've learned from you and seen you learn from one another. Whenever someone, usually me, had a question about finance or accounting, there was always somebody who was willing to put their own study aside and help, even after 17 straight hours locked inside a workroom, surviving on nothing but cold coffee and Kinder Bueno. And this is in spite of the fact that the system here at IE is designed specifically to discourage such behavior through a stacked ranking. This is what I think in economics class we were told is irrational behavior. Well, I, for one, I'm glad to have met so many irrational people. We made it, and we made it together. Yes, success here at IE has meant overcoming personal and academic challenges, but I would go beyond that and say that the greatest success is in the friendships we've made across ethnic, racial, religious, and national boundaries. And I'll be leaving here not just with colleagues, but with people who I consider to be like my brothers and sisters. And for that, I'm most grateful. So, as we look ahead into the great unknown that is the future, I want us to remember the real moments of human connection, those moments of sacrifice, of selflessness, and of silliness that made the MBA what it was. These are the moments that will remain with us. And we should remember that if we want to affect real change in the world around us, success is not to be found in our position or our paycheck, but in our power to touch the lives of others, just as we did here at IE. With that in mind, I'd like to read a quote from one of my favorite books, Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl, where he outlines the advice he always gives his students. Don't aim at success. The more you aim at it and make it a target, the more you're going to miss it. For success, like happiness, cannot be pursued. It must ensue, and it only does so as the unintended side effect of one's personal dedication to a cause greater than oneself, or as the byproduct of one's surrender to a person other than oneself. Happiness must happen, and the same holds for success. You have to let it happen by not caring about it. I'm sure that you'll all continue to touch the lives of others, and in doing so, achieve real success. I wish you every happiness in your post-MBA lives, and please remember to always stay irrational. Thank you.
Please don't forget to give me a copy of your speech. We want to hold it here at the I. Thank you.